Hello everyone and welcome back to Consent Media Radio. Thank you for choosing me today. Thank you for listening. And please like, share, and subscribe, especially on YouTube. Can y'all please subscribe? This video is under fair use of section 107. Today we're going to be talking about Steve Harvey's ex-wife, Mary, which says that his new wife, Marjorie, is a drug addict. Let's go.
Full of dark secrets and addictions that had stained her past life. And apparently, the truth about her past will come out very soon, and both Steve and Marjorie's ex-spouses, Mary Lee, are going to play the main role in this exposure. You remember that story when Steve Harvey's ex-wife, Mary Lee, confronted Steve and Marjorie Harvey on the internet but as a result of that exposure, received a gag order hidden in a box of chocolate? Well, it seems like Steve is adamant to hush his ex-wife for good because someone whispered the stories about Marjorie into her ear.
Is me, or does anybody else remember how bad Steve Harvey had treated his ex-wife? He used to treat her real bad. Y'all remember that?
And boy, this woman is not a saint, and her past of full of hidden addictions and even dealing the forbidden stuff. I mean, no one is perfect, but the controversies surrounding Steve's current wife have been going on for ages. From rumors about how she ended up marrying the famous TV entertainer to allegations that she made him work 10 times more than before.
It's said to be that Marjorie was dating one of his homeboys or his friends or something who was an ex-drug dealer. She and the ex-drug dealer ended up going to jail or something like that. And boom, that's when she latched on to Steve and got Mary out the way. So honestly, she was already a schnab.
Just to satisfy her needs for luxury. This woman is a walking controversy herself. And no wonder Steve's ex-wife is eager to spill more tea.
This video is used for fair use. This video is for fair use for news purposes and entertainment only.
On her. Apparently, Marjorie's summer reading will be marked by worries and horrors because there's a tell-all book coming out that may expose all criminal activities she had been involved in her past. As you may know, before joining the ranks of celebrities, Marjorie was briefly married to a drug kingpin Jim L. Townsend, and even more. Back in the 90s, she was under investigation along with her then spouse because Jim attempted to buy 40 kilos of stuff, if you know what I mean, and even sentenced to life in prison for that, but only served 26 years after being granted a pardon by then President Barack Obama. Although Marjorie herself was never charged with any crime or convicted, the FBI suspected her in being her spouse's accomplice in this. And though the agents had some evidence on her, it seems like that Jim cut the deal with them, which allowed Marjorie to walk free. Well, Jim's motives looked quite clear here. First, the couple had a 5-year-old daughter who could end up with both parents locked up for dealing. Plus, there was Marjorie's condition. At the time of the arrest and investigation, she was 8 months pregnant with her second child. So, while her then-husband Jim was so noble and took the fall, it seems like the time he spent behind the bars changed his attitude, and Jim is coming to clear his name and tell the whole story from his perspective. A few years ago, Jim announced that he was working on a tell-all book, which would focus on the details of all the criminal activities that took place during his and Marjorie's drug period. I can only guess what he is going to expose there, because the possible release of these revelations certainly unnerved Steve and Marjorie. As Jim shared with the press, I wrote 2/3 of the book in prison. I'm going to tell my story. It don't matter if she knows about it. Townsend also mentioned that the story is full of explosive details, and no matter what his ex-wife is thinking about it, he had the right to express his point of view on the things. When talking to Radar Online, the man added that he was going to go ahead with the publication regardless of what Marjorie thought about it. Well, it seems like there are some spicy details we may soon learn about her, and I bet her life back then was not all pony and rainbows. As Jim continued his story, he said, "I'm pouring my heart out. No one knows what happened but me and Marjorie." Well, looks like someone is finally getting exposed for dealing and using. And you can see from the title Snakes in the Garden that this won't be the book where Jim plans to cover for his ex-spouse like he did with the Phoebe. The release date is approximately somewhere in July this year, and boy, we are waiting for this story. Jim teases readers with a cryptic description. Reading, you'll get a front row seat to see what it's like to face vile drug dealing, my marriage to Marjorie Harvey, and greed, and how it can impact someone's life. Okay guys, that really sounds interesting. I still don't know, and no one knows what portion of the book will be dedicated to Marjorie and what secrets are going to be spilled, but judging by the words Part 1, this is only the beginning of the story. The first book is priced at almost $30, and the contents may be truly spicy for such a price tag. It makes me wonder if the title is actually about Marjorie and whether her involvement in dealing and using will be exposed in this book. I would definitely count on it because right her separation from Jim Marjorie was associated with a new drug dealer, Donald Woods, who also happens to be the father of Marjorie's youngest daughter, Lori. Well, going from one drug baron to another is certainly an unusual part of someone's life, and I expect to see a few chapters covering this story. So it also means that Marjorie will be also exposed for either dealing and using herself, because come on, you cannot stay in this environment and not get a.
Please take a look at this picture coming up next of Steve Harvey and Trump. I swear, they both look like they both need to go to the bathroom. This picture is so horrible, but this video is under fair use. Thank you.
Affected. While Marjorie may be panicking about the upcoming release about her life, people are impatiently waiting for this book because don't we all like a good old downfall? As one person wrote, I want to read that book. And another added, looking forward to that book. And guys, there are a lot of comments like this. And as many people believe, this is karma finally serving Marjorie what she deserves. And if Steve and his wife have to face some problems now because of this tell-all story, I guess this should somehow make up for them wronging Steve's ex-wife, Mary Lee. They have been married for nearly a decade. And as Mary Lee later confessed that Steve basically left he with nothing after the separation because he was busy enriching Marjorie. But if you think that was just the sob story of an ex-wife, let me tell you that Mary Lee also spilled some serious tea and even uploaded it on YouTube. Mary Harvey posted a series of videos on that included intimate excerpts of letters and emails she said she intercepted between her husband and his current wife, Marjorie, near the end of her 16-year relationship with him. And Steve even took his ex-wife to court over the story. But you know what? Once been uploaded, never disappears. And this footage is still available. And that's how we know Mary Lee's story, she stated. Steve took, I got evicted from our home. He's turned my son
Media Radio. This is Consent Media Radio.
against me, and he took my wealth. Marjorie also received her share in these videos, and Mary Lee exposed her as Steve's mistress and also told how this woman contributed to ruining her marriage with Steve. It seems like Marjorie was initially chasing the celebrity status and easy money, as since by that time Steve was already famous and rich. He seemed like a good choice for her. But what Mary Lee is unhappy about is how this couple left her with nothing, considering that she was the one to help Steve become he is right now. While of course it's frustrating when you help your man to build your mutual wealth, and some profligate woman just steals it in 1 second. Steve and Marjorie were quite shocked by such claims and exposure and decided to defend their name by filing a case against Harvey's first wife. Of course, all allegations and speculation were denied and Mary Lee was called a liar. As Harvey's attorney stated, we are appalled and aware of the videos and other fabricated documents, which contained false, misleading, derogatory, disparaging, malicious, explicit, and slanderous information about Mr. Harvey, his current wife, and others. But you know, I still tend to believe that this all was more than possible, considering that not only Mary Lee was kept away from her son, but Marjorie's ex-Jim, the one with the book, also said the same thing about his kids. When he got out of the prison, he was eager to spend more time with his children, but Marjorie, probably forced by Steve, forbade him so. As Jimmy said, all those years I could call night or day, and she was always there for me. But when she met him, the phone was cut off the next day. Well, I guess we have to wait for that book to see another side of the story, and it seems like Marjorie has to brace herself for what she is going to read about herself in that story. Hopefully, Steve and Marjorie won't use their influence and money to prevent the book from coming out, because I bet many people will be interested in learning about this particular drug dealing and using Paige in Marjorie's story because, boy, fans are waiting for this truth to come out. As one person commented, Steve always presented Marjorie as someone who was a debutante or from the upper crust when all along she came from the trap house. I do hope their dirty deeds are exposed. And another person wrote, she needs to be exposed. She thought being a celebrity would protect her. Well, maybe Marjorie actually wanted to get a celebrity status for feeling invincible from all the troubles of her dark past. But I don't know how much more Steve Harvey needs to work now to get enough money to protect her from exposure. And what do you reckon? Will Marjorie's reputation go way down in flames after this book? And is Steve still covering her addictions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other video about celebrity scandals. There's always something nasty going on in
Everybody, that was the end of that video. Thank you for choosing Consent Media Radio. Y'all please like and share, follow, subscribe, whatever you got to do. Please subscribe, especially on YouTube. I'm trying to get this page up and running. Thank you for choosing Consent Media Radio. Once again, we'll be back with you soon with another story. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.